Yeah.
But you have a lot of basses.
I do have a lot of basses
in your studio.
I tell people this all the time. Believe me, for the first 25 years I played bass, I only really used my Steinbergers. I had two,
which you were kind enough to lend me.
I did. That's
about
right.
4 years
That's
ago
right.
to do, or 5 years ago.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yep, both the
Jeez,
guitars.
you know a lot about me.
Wow.
But those basses, I gravitated toward one. I was traveling. I was with the Fugs and a couple of other bands, and going on an airplane. Hey, that bass fits right under my arm, and this was
a hard time.
This was before they really gave you a hard time. Now it's really hard, but back then it was like, oh, this is really easy. I've got it right here. So I started that way, but then I just gravitated and loved them, and then I wound up doing a Rory Block tour, and Mark Egan I think had played on some of the songs on the record we did. So I didn't have a fretless Steinberger, so I literally picked up a fretless one on my way to the airport from Ned
in Newburgh?
when they were in Newburgh. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, and it still smelled of like hot graphite and plastic. It was like I was like sniffing the bass on the way to it was good. It was kind of a very toxic smell.
Help chill you out on the plane, like relax you a little bit.
It was great. But then that bass really for a long time, because I was in the singer-songwriter world, which is the stuff I did with Leslie. And I was working with Livingston Taylor and James Taylor and everything else. And at the time, Michael Manring was doing his thing. So a lot more fretless. And I kind of stayed away from the fretless because of the Jocko thing since Jocko, because I was a clone for sure. And then I just one day went, I'm not going to play that for a while.
You just walked and stepped away from it.
Yeah, so it was like maybe 10, 15 years almost before I went back into that pool.
Gotcha.
And those basses were great, but this is a long-winded story, but basically two of them, the tuners started to fall apart, and I couldn't get repair parts because Ned had sold Steinberger to Gibson, but Gibson wasn't manufacturing any parts. So then I said, well, I guess I got to go out and start looking for a new bass. And 45 basses later, or whatever it is, I don't even know. I honestly don't know.
You have a lot of basses.
Yeah,
you have a lot of guitars.
Yeah, I do have quite a few guitars.
Yeah. And a swordfish.
Yeah, maybe two. Who knows?
Are there two in there?
No, I got a moose.
Since I've seen you? Or?
The moose is out front. I just redid my moose.
Really?
Yeah, I needed a new moose. Moose rotted.
Is it a wood moose?
It's a moose.
It's okay.
It's straight moose.
A straight up moose.
Straight up moose.
Straight up moose. Okay. I think we found the title for your new album.
Straight up moose. Yeah.